All right, mommies, all my mommies and poppies, all my mommies and poppies, do you know, sabes, what day it is? It's our anniversary of doing another day of something that few tend to venture through. This is day 89, day 89 of a 40-day juice cleanse. Hi, how you doing? My name is Bree. My friends call me Breezy. I'm like, what is this? I was doing wallpaper. I was doing some more of my wallpaper yesterday. Just like right now. You know where you get in those episodes where you're like, you need to tighten your ish. Tighten your ish. Tighten up. Because you know you're about to hit the racetrack and you know you're about to take off. Are you ready to take off when the opportunities reveal themselves? We got a guest appearance of the girls today while they are still with us. Thank you, goodness. If you've been following my story, with fasting, of course, you can't pin and target where you lose fat, and obviously the breasts are a big, substantial amount of most women's fat, so they are one of the first to go. And I'm down about a cup and a half, but they look good, you know? They look good. They look good. So what a blessing. What a wonder. And I actually isn't this a beautiful knife? A guy I was talking to gave me this knife. I looked it up. It was like $300. I'm like, wow. Thank you. I don't know why men like giving me weapons for some reason. I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Like my ex-husband gave me guns, gave me knives. Guys I talked to, maybe it's an Idaho thing. I don't know. But my ex was from the Midwest, East Coast, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's quite handy when the wallpaper that I have, it's really thick. It's like fibers, so it's scissors don't cut it. You need an actual blade. And this, like, it's certified. You actually have to mail it into the manufacturer to get it sharpened. You can't just go to anywhere and get it sharpened. So I'm like, what a blessing. Thank you, Kiki. Even though we don't talk no more, thank you, Kiki. Thank you for my knife. I think people when I've never understood why people get rid of stuff. Yes, there's sometimes energetic ties if you have that attention to things, but if things are still useful, I'm gonna keep it. You know, I'm gonna keep it. Rings and jewelry. I don't know. I don't know because that's like touching your body. That's still holding some type. Anywho. So we're going to piggyback off of yesterday's video, and we're going to talk about living without dependency. This is our dependency series. This is going to be more like identity based, you know? So, like, what does life actually look like when you're not dependent on something to feel okay? When you're not dependent on, oh, Nia, my counselor, my friend, she just texted me. We have a scheduled call today, so let me hurry my ass up, and I will include Nia as an artist. Surround yourself with people who know how to actually express. So I'm gonna, was it tag? No, I'm gonna include her music in the description because she's just a wonderful, beautiful human being, and you can feel it in her music. So, yeah, check her music out. She's established. Okay, she's made it to iTunes. She's made it to Apple Music. Like I've known this girl since third grade. You know, this is wild. Since we were 8 years old, we're almost 30 years in the game. Okay, so let that be proof. You know how to pair bond. You know how to foster some relationships, but it takes special people. Okay, yeah. So continue with people you've already had a history with that don't take offense of you time passing and you actually just want to check on these people. And there's just people that can't do wrong in my eyes. They've shown me too much. They've shown me their soul. They've shown me their heart, the ups and the downs. Like, you can't do no wrong. Even if I see you burying the body, I'm like, she's he they must have pushed her. They must have pushed her because there's a reason behind this, and let's do it, you know? Hopefully I don't get called in for a character witness. But anywho, I would be on the stand like, I know this woman, she would never, as I'm watching her put the soil and plant the flowers over the body, I would be in that courtroom like, she's not capable of this. The Nia I know is not capable of this, which would be the truth. Anywho. What I've been learning What does life actually look like when you're not compulsively being pulled to text that person, to end up in the Wendy's drive-through, to gorge yourself into absolute just dissemination? What does that look like? What does that look like? Dependency is when your state, your happiness, your relief, your lightheartedness, your generosity, your perceived kindness, your relaxation. Dependency is when your state depends on something outside of you. You have a dependency. You need this thing to function. You need to ingest, to explore, to infatuate, to stalk, to shoot up, to drink. You need this to handle or to compensate or to change the state of whatever's going on inside you through food, through people, through validation, through your accolades, through your career, through stimulation, through those video games. If it's not there, you don't feel okay. You can't relax. You can't unclench your butt cheeks. You can't think about anything else. That's how you know, darling, you have a dependency. We're just stating it so we're aware. We're just stating it so we know, oh, if I need this to relax, if I need this to feel like calm, if I need this to feel stimulated, if I need if I need a man to feel loved, if I need that whopper whopper, double whopper with curly fries to feel relief, if I need my parents' attention to feel like I am worthy of anything, you are a dependency. Did you know that? If you feel like you have to go to the gym 3 hours a day in hopes to get the attention that you so desperately craved as a child, as an adolescent, we see it. It's the revenge of the nerds, you know? The people who didn't get much attention in high school. Hold on, let me text Nia back real quick. The people who didn't give much attention in high school, they're like, oh, they're rich now. They're they're jacked now. We can see this now. I mean, we see it on social media, you know? Okay, give me 10 so. Ah, love you, girl. We see this, why is it always like the prom kings and prom queens that like fell off? That's why I'm so happy I was a late bloomer. I didn't have Tatas till I was like 20. I've always had a strong butt. And thank goodness, because I could not hit the gym pretty hard for a year, and but I am seeing some, not degradation, I am seeing some effects of gravity, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. So as soon as I'm done with this detox, it's showtime, baby. May the force be with you. May is when I really hike it up and turn it on. So I have till May. I'll be refeeding by then, which is the goal, and we're just gonna take off. We're just gonna take off how we know how to take off. It's gonna be a hot, 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 hot girl summer. Hot girl summer. Lethal girl summer. What does life look like? What can you look forward to? What does life look like without your dependencies? You actually respond to your stimulation instead of being so dang reactive to it. You realize like, oh, I'm feeling stressed because I've been thinking about this thing I've had to do. I might have to get my passport. I haven't, scheduled the time to do it. I have to, get back to this person. I have to look over some files, and it's just been stored in the back because you've gotten so used to procrastinating. It's just another folder open. It's just another file open. It's okay. Look at your phone. Look at your webpage. How many pages do you have open? Put it down. Put it down in the comments. Whoever I'm speaking to. Your closet. Is it organized? I just have to. This is one of my closets, and I'm like, it's time. It's time. You get to the point where you're like, I gotta tighten up. Because once you've emptied yourself out of all the BS, you start being more prone and sensitive to the BS around you. And you're like, why do I even have this anymore? Why isn't this organized? Why isn't this like structured? And a part of me, the mean girl part of me started coming out like, tighten your ish. Like, grow up. This is supposed to be like, act like an adult. I'm like, whoa, bitch. Whoa, Lilo and Stitch. Whoa, Trick. Hold on. Hold on. Can we catch that attitude? Sometimes I need to talk back to myself. Like, oh, you gotta. I told you I got a smart mouth. I got a smart mouth when I'm not conscious of it. I'm like, girl, that comes in handy when you are in conversation, when you're conversing with people, when you have to be thinking on your feet, when you have to do a pun or a joke in that, yeah. But also that thing could get ratchet real quick. I'm like, you need to watch your mouth. Do you need some juice? Do you need some water? Do you need some melatonin? What do you need? Because you are snappy. So yeah, it's kind of funny now that I see it though. I just see it as the adolescent breezy. I'm like, girl, but you got us a scholarship, girl. Your attitude got us honor roll. Your attitude got us in, you know, advanced classes. So do what you need to do. But, you can say it nicely. You can say it kindly. You ain't got to be edgy all the time. Okay. I understand you, sweetheart. I see you, sweetheart. It's all good. When you respond instead of react, there's actually a gap, which we described yesterday as like an open space, which correlates to your freedom. You have freedom to respond instead of being so compulsive. You get the stimulation, you feel the stress, and we've explored that our body feels it before our brain can register it. You feel the stress, and instead of saying like, "Oh, I feel horrible. What would make me feel good right now? What will give me some relief? Probably attention from the sky." And I even went through that today. I'm like, I feel like I want some attention right now. But I was going through episodes where I felt really good. Made some good money today. Oh my gosh! So we're gonna get back to it. So let me remember where I stopped off. Uh, respond versus react. Okay. So remember yesterday I told you I was interviewing for that like it was like a transportation job where I actually got a company car. And if you don't know, if you're new here, my car blew up last year. I keep on saying yesterday, last year. So I've been renting cars for a year. Breezy, why don't you just buy a car? When you are in survival and when your divorce has essentially massacred your credit score, when you still have credit cards that are at 29%, that you had to rely on for your medical attention, for your livelihood, because you got divorced when you were unemployed, because you were so sick that you could barely go up your stairs, and you essentially were the breadwinner until you couldn't be anymore. And when a parasite can no longer take nutrients from its host, it will detach. And that's essentially what happened. And that mentally, when you go into marriage thinking this is going to be forever, you don't anticipate divorce. Through thick and thin, through health, through challenges, through everything. But that type of weight, that type of pressure, when I couldn't perform, when I couldn't make the money, when I couldn't be happy, when I couldn't have sex without extreme pain, like everything just kind of shut down. Who you choose as your partner has to essentially have as strong as a backbone as you or more. Mind you, I nursed my ex-partner through accidents, through leaving the military, through going through school, motivated him to get his degree. Of course, he quit because that's not what he actually wanted. He was just fluffing. I knew he wanted advancement, but he didn't want to do it the hard way. I won't say from what city he's from, but he comes from a city of schemers, basically. That's all he knew. So, hello, this was your correction. And I'm so happy it had to happen like that because that's one of the most brutal wake up calls outside of your own parents betraying you. So nothing can like surprise me anymore. Yes, that means that you gotta watch your walls because they will go up. You will avoid any type of intimacy because the main people who were supposed to care for you, supposed to love you, unconditionally, seemingly all quit on you because you gave that power of your happiness, your fulfillment, your expectations over to them instead of keeping it with you and God. That's no fault of your own, but you have to go through those type of experiences, those extreme betrayals, those extreme life-altering circumstances to know, oh, it's really like I got me regardless, and God's got me. And the grace that you have over your life has shown you that. But anywho, so yes, even though I'm spending 800 to anywhere from 600 to $1,000 on rental cars every month to keep, working, to keep all that, it's a cyclical, tyrannical cycle of the tornado is being in chaos and being survival. You can't even see over the hill that, hey, Breezy, if you did this, you could do it. You ain't got no family to help you. You ain't got nobody's, you wouldn't even allow yourself to crash on somebody's couch. Your pride wouldn't allow you to do that. So I guess I will figure it out or God will call me home. Now, I'm not saying that's the productive right way to do things because you become blinded to people who actually want to help you. I've had an uncle, the only family member that I've had. Everybody knows I've been in Idaho. I've been in Idaho 16 years. I've had one uncle reach out to me to check up on me. And I really need to reach back out to him and just be like, hey, allow people to help you. How do you know the blessings that God is sending you is not through people? No, show God that you know how to receive. And that's what I've been doing these last few weeks while fasting. No resistance, just allowing things to show up, which leads me to I had the second interview with this transportation company which allows me to have a company car. I get to keep the car. I get to use the car. It stays with me indefinitely. It gets serviced by the company, but I will be picking up like people in wheelchairs, which I love being around the underserviced community. I've always loved being around elderly people. I've always loved being around um people who have come into this world, have incarnated into this world with different circumstances, different perceived hindrances, and I just want to know how they think. Now, I know as this company is growing, I'm like, wow, the correlation between how many people are actually getting sicker and need transport, like they majorly deal with Medicaid. And I think they said they already have like 50 drivers. I'm like, yeah, they have at least in the state of Idaho. I think they do something like 300 doctor visits a day. I'm like, people are sick. So I got to talk to the owners today. Mind you, these interviews, I had that interview with I guess he's the owner's right hand man. It's supposed to be only 20 minutes, but like I said yesterday, if you get me in front of people, I've never gone to an interview that I have not gotten. Most of my jobs have been word of mouth, just how these last three opportunities came up without a resume. I know if I get the interview, it's done. That's a core belief I have. So it has to show up. It has to conduct itself in that way. So I enter things now in a sense of wholeness, in a sense of certainty, not of lack. Like, would a company car be great right now? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? That's going to save me $800 a month. Do you know what that means? I can actually have space, more space, and not this every day gotta hustle, hustle, hustle. I have more space to expand my horizons, actually really tap into my genius, my brilliance, and actually be creative instead of being like, okay, well, I got, this is already expense for this. My credit cards are this. Like, just maintaining my life, just maintaining, not even excelling is $1,000 a week. So as you know, I accepted a job with a candle company that I'm really freaking excited about. But that's starting off at part time. But I went with the company that I knew would take care of me and that I felt like amazing towards. That I felt just I would be loved, I would be cherished. Yeah, it's gonna be work, but the possibilities are endless. And I'm like, okay, in the meantime, I need to compensate. How am I gonna get around? Blah blah blah. And they were like, even when we go to like trade shows or whatever for the candles and a lot of local, farmers markets or whatever, I can now use that van. So of course, in my humanistic mind, like, girl, you need this, you need this, you need this. But I've just learned to approach things in these last few months. Like, what will be unraveled to me will be unraveled to me. Go into things not needing anything. Just having a certainty, like if it will work out, if it will work out, I am complete and I am whole with or without this job, with or without it working out. And when you tell yourself that and really like ruminate on it, it shows in your tone, it shows in your voice, it shows in your posture. I I talk excited now because I'm talking to you. Like I'm explaining the things that are happening. But when I'm talking to men, when I'm talking to people with opportunities, my voice slows down. I really listen to what people are saying. I really digest it. I talk with a nice temperament. I talk not from lack, not from scarcity, not from need. I approach it as, oh my gosh, how great would this be? How fun would this be? I know what energy I bring. And these people are going to dialysis. These people are going, this is probably the only human interaction they get. Why not be me? Why not be me? Get energetically infused and not performative. I just get happy to see people. And I'm getting paid. I think they start off anywhere between like 800 to 1200 a week. So with my other job, that would be probably around like 17 to 2000 a week, which is pretty good when you think about it. But if you know, it's going to be 1099, which I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I had my interview yesterday. It was supposed to be 20 minutes. It was an hour and a half. And then I had the interview. They were like, we got to get you, which I knew. I thought I was going to get scheduled for next week for a next week interview with the owner. And then the guy was like, how about we get you on the phone tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, okay, which is today. I was like, oh, for Saturday? Okay. Okay, cool. So 8 a.m. this morning, I talked with the owner. And the guy before, he was like, it'll probably be about 35, 45 minutes because he's going to really want to get to know you. And I was like, oh, who wouldn't? You got to be cocky in some aspects, you know? And so we ended up talking for almost 2 freaking hours. Come to find out, he plays volleyball, I play volleyball. Like, he gave me the questions and he offered me the job on the spot. He's like, we don't do this typically. Of course, given that, you got to do background check, you got to do drug tests, you got to do um, defensive driving. You got to do CPR. You got to be, you got to know how to, oh, come on, help me out. You got to know how to properly like get people in. He's like, there can be also people up to 300 pounds. I'm like, I know. I've seen them at Walmart. I know. In the scooters. I know. He's like, do you think you can handle that? I'm like, brother, I trained for this. I trained for this. You're going to give me a company car. I get to keep it at my house. I get to use it for my everyday. How wonderful. And he's like, yeah, we don't usually do this, but I want to give you an offer on the spot. And then we just ended with, we actually know the same people in the volleyball community, which was wild because both of our tones just changed towards the end. Like, it was professional the first hour and 20, hour 50 minutes, and the last 15, 20 minutes, like he almost didn't want to get off the phone. I'm like, I mean, he's married. It wasn't like that. Just had a newborn, but we had so much chemistry, and we were the same age, and he actually owns the company. And I was like, did I want to say, hell yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. I need that card now. I need to go train in now. But I'm showing God that I know how to hold the pose. I know how to rest. I know how to not be thirsty. I know how, if this works for me, and if I know I can come off this emotional high of having this interaction or whatever, and I still want to do this, and I got the signs from God to proceed and do this, yes. So I was like, this has been a wonderful conversation. I greatly appreciate this. I would love to take the weekend to think about this and reach out to you on Monday with my decision. And he was like, you know what? I respect that so much. And you can tell he doesn't talk to people um who can be entertaining and also like cerebrally s- stimulate him. Because I've done so much inner work. I've done so much reflection. My memory is getting back on track, my references, my experiences, because I'm going through experiences day by day. And I'm telling you, just because I show up happy and preppy here, some of these daily experiences like hit wounds But I just have certainty, and I thank God, thank you for showing me this so I can deal with this now instead of later. Thank you for having this person do this to me so I have the opportunity to choose to put my ticket of not this guilt, shame, defensiveness, reactiveness. I get to choose how I show up. I get to choose what this situation means to me. How powerful is that? I get to choose what this means. I said whether I get this job or not, I am still whole. I am still complete. This just means another chapter was going to be revolved to me. And this is such a powerful time right now. Like, continue to have an abundant mind. Don't let things get to you. Don't. You have the power to create the narrative of what something means to you. How attractive is that? I choose to think that everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody wants to please me. Whether statistically, who knows if that can actually be true. But in my mind, I'm like, that makes me feel good. People are giving me compliments. Oh my gosh, your legs! Wow, I had the girls out today. The legs, not the ladies. These are the ladies. My legs are my girls, and it's coming out effortlessly. I'm walking with my chest up. Sometimes at the grocery store, I kind of lean on the cart. But I learned something like, girl, how would a duchess, how would a queen, how would royalty walk in here? Okay? I'm getting compliments. I'm getting literally cat calls from other cars. And mind you, I'm like, I'm not going to buy new clothes right now, even though I definitely need some new two pieces for like summer and all that. But I can still kind of fit my old clothes, but I want to just hold off, wait till you get like steady income, get acclimated to that. And the demand for this job is going to be high, but you have the right to state your demands, even though you feel like you could really, really use this right now. They can work this. He was telling me they can work anywhere from like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I'm like, I chose this opportunity so I can just show up, have the system already ready for me. A lot of it was for the car. I'm not going to lie. Um, but I don't want to be stressed out and overworked and overburdened. So I'm going to counteract with them and say, hey, I have no problem getting up for the early morning appointments, which are typically like around 5 a.m., which I'm pretty much up at that time anyway. But I want to be off by 2 o'clock. And I feel, given the conversation I had, I feel he has a real sense of what I can bring to his company, the dynamic I can bring to his company. I feel I have the right to ask that. And I think this is also an opportunity to communicate your needs. So you don't 2 weeks, a month down, are resentful and bitter because now you have to negotiate your needs. You knew you wanted to say something in the beginning, but you were so grateful for the job. You're so grateful for the breadcrumbs. You're so grateful for the opportunity that I'll just do it. I'll just do it. No, I have to show God, yes, I am so, so grateful. I am so grateful that this fell in my lap. Also, I would like it like this. That would make me feel really good, really yummy. And if they don't agree, they don't agree. That's all right. But getting offered a job on the spot, you got some pull. They felt something. Having a 30-minute conversation go for an extra hour when people got things to do on Saturday morning, it's Easter weekend. You really want to talk to an applicant on Easter weekend? So, will you speak up? Will you communicate your needs? We'll see. So, responding instead of reacting. There's a gap between the feeling and the action. That's the space you got to practice. What does this actually mean to me? You're so used to outsourcing your decisions to your patterns and what you've done historically that you automatically think because you're stressed, because you're tired, you need to eat. Because he hasn't called you or texted you, he doesn't like you. Because somebody said something in a different tone, they're being disrespectful. They hit you. They're here to end you. They're here to just destroy you. Simmer down. That's the story you gave it. That's the story your brain automatically gave it. But if you actually pause, it's like, wow, all these souls who I perceived betrayed me, lied to me, deceived me. I I essentially became better. I essentially fostered more character. These are essentially angels, souls, other souls that signed up to put you through this so you will develop, you will grow, you will change, you will actually take responsibility for your life. They knew they had to do this to you for you to evolve, or else you would have stayed the same. So are you going to let it destroy you, or are you going to let it evolve you? Because the purpose was to for your evolution, but society has conditioned you to blame, to victimize yourself, to freeze, to have this event be the narrative of your life, the story of your life, when it was supposed to be just a blimp to get you back in alignment. But you've held on to that story. Your brain has held on. Your body is keeping score, and it's like, well, this is what it's always going to mean. This is why I can't trust people. No. Some people, it takes a week for them to realize it. Some people, it takes years for them to realize it. Once you get to a point where you enjoy things without needing them, you can have it or you can not have it and still be okay. And still be okay. You don't panic when things shift. You don't panic when there's stress, when people are rushing around you, when you feel like you're being overwhelmed. You're not chasing relief constantly. You can sit in your experience without escaping it. You don't need to take a puff of that. You don't need to drink. You don't need to call that ex of yours. You don't need the attention. You don't need to post a thirst trap. Sit in what's actually going on. Nothing outside of you controls how you feel inside of you. You know that, right? I feel like a huge part of this lifetime is to call all your power back and realize nothing outside of you has power unless you give it willingly. Just how you have to willingly invite a vampire in, they just can't come in. You have to actually invite them in. You invited that parasite in, you invited those drugs in, you invited that distraction in, you invited Netflix in, you invited that ex in, you invited that guy or the girl who has no great intentions for you in. But when your brain starts to shift, when dependency decreases because you're actually separating the stimulus from your reaction, your dopamine becomes less chaotic. Real things get you excitement like sunshine, like joy, like happiness, like being a service to your community, like being in community, dancing, twerking, giving people compliments. Your reward system stabilize. They're not peaking. You're not drinking a huge iced coffee just to feel better. That sugar, your habits lose a compulsive pull, just like your cravings lose that shakiness. You remember in the beginning, I was shaking from my addictions, from my withdrawals. I was like, handcuff me to a goddamn radiator because I cannot do this. The brain stops seeking constant relief and starts actually maintaining balance, which it's originally designed to do. So you can think logically in your day to day. You stop being someone who needs things and become someone who chooses things. You don't need that relationship, you choose it. You don't need that toxic environment. You actually choose something that makes you feel better. So as we're wrapping up, I gotta call my girl. Freedom isn't about having everything, it's about not needing anything to feel whole. All right, baby? And now that we got that reality check, we can do something about it. Now that we know what dependency looks like, we can choose. Now you have the knowledge. Are you going to embody it into wisdom? That's totally up to you. But I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful night. And I gotta talk to my girl. Okay, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 90, baby. All right, I love you so, so, so much. Take care of yourself, okay? Have a good night. See you tomorrow.